Let's get nasty on a Thursday. It's a Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. 202, your time check, brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Appreciate everybody being involved in the show today. You can always reach us via the Air Comfort Service text line at 314-399-9646. Feel free to leave us a Scott Lee Heating Company mic drop via the 101 Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app if you'd like, or reach us in our Snake Pit. That's our 101 ESPN YouTube channel.
Sorry.
It's our Snake Pit. Yeah, no, that's all right.
Yeah,
You're good. I love your sweatshirt today.
Ah, thank you. I got this from my young man, Tion Gray. He's a freshman at the University of Oregon, one of the kids that I coached. Going to be a really good football player.
Did you have two kids that went there then?
No, just one. Went to Oregon?
Yeah. I thought you already had one there.
Nope. No, he was at, the other one was at Maryland.
Maryland, okay. Yeah. There you go. Well, sweet sweatshirt, man. He hooked you up. Tonight, the Blues and the Capitals, pregame starting at 5 o'clock, so we're off a little earlier tonight. 5 o'clock pregame right here on 101 ESPN. The puck will drop at 6 o'clock on the Blues radio network. Guys, we have talked a lot about whether or not the Blues should trade Braden Shen. Should they hold on to him? What sort of compensation could they get for not only Shen, but guys like Jordan Binnington? You know, should they sell? Where are they in the retool? We've had a lot of questions on that. Why don't we take a step back, though? Why don't we discuss what are the key questions for the Blues as they head to the deadline? So the deadline is March 7th. NHL trade deadline March 7th. What are the important questions that need to be answered before we get to the March 7th trade deadline to at least tell us whether or not the Blues should be buyers, sellers, or flat, just stay neutral?
Is this effort and performance that you've put on since the Four Nations tournament ended, is this who you really are? Because we've seen kind of up and down play from them all season long. I think Jamie said they're the only team in the NHL that doesn't have at least a 3-game win streak. If that's where you are, that is the complete measure of, inconsistency or being consistent in what you are. You haven't been able to sustain a winning streak. So, if you're able to win tonight versus, again, it's a very good team that they're playing against. If you're able to win that game, you're starting to show maybe you have turned the corner. I don't think it's too late. You're only, 5 points out of the second wild card, I think, right now. So, there's still time and opportunity. But I think that question needs to be answered first. Who are we? What are we? What style do we want to play consistently? What style can we play consistently? And are we able to do this every single night? Or is it just a one-off, two-off every other night? We'll be really good, and then we'll take some time off in games that matter.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't say time off because that sounds disrespectful. They're trying, but are they talented enough to meet or beat the level of the teams that they're playing if they're more talented than they are?
So you touched upon something, Carey, that I actually think needs to be addressed first and foremost, and it's the most basic answer. How many points are you out of a wild card spot? Because you're clearly not a cup contender. If you're a cup contender, there really is no discussion here. You're a buyer, you're a top 3 team in your division, or you're firmly planted in one of those wild card spots. That makes you a buyer. So obviously the Blues are not in that tier. If we go to the next tier, which let's just describe as like the bubble tier, to me you need to be within 5 to 6 points. Right now they're 5 points out of a wild card spot. If you stay within 5 or 6 points heading into the trade deadline, that to me puts you in the bubble. That doesn't mean that you absolutely need to buy, but I wonder if you just at least stand pat, or maybe you make one of those smaller moves that is not going to sacrifice any sort of future assets, and you remain a bubble team. You give this thing a go. If you're 7 or 8 points out, that to me means you sell what you can. You start with some of these expiring contracts. You see what the market is for those players, and then you see what the compensation is for guys like Braden Shen and Jordan Binnington. You're setting the market for those guys. Those players have term left. They have years left on their deals. So if the market is way better than you thought, I think you at least have to entertain trading those guys and set you up for the future. If there's not market value for you, or somebody's trying to undercut you, The only guarantee is you have those players still under contract for next year. You don't have to sell. So that's where I'm at. 5 or 6 points, stand pat, maybe you make a small move. You're 7 or 8 points out. Now I think you're firmly in seller mode.
Go ahead, Marsh.
I think for me, the question for me, and you bring up trading those guys away. For me, though, like heading into the trade deadline is it worth trading away leadership for the players that you're going to get back? Like, to me, I feel like you need these guys to usher in a new era of Blues hockey. Mm-hmm. Not only is Braden Shen your captain and leader of this team, but he's contributing on the score sheet too.
Yeah.
And he's a part of one of, if not your best line on your team that makes this whole thing go. Like, that second line has been fantastic this season. Jordan Kyrou, Dylan Holloway, Braden Shen.
Yeah.
Like, that line is the one that has been going. I don't know if you trade him away, like, if you're necessarily going in the right direction. Now, I could be completely wrong. Maybe someone steps up and they're all fine in that locker room and whatnot, but I just feel like his presence in that locker room is more beneficial for this team than it is if he's somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And you got, like, a couple different players in return. Like, the return for me has to outweigh what he brings to this locker room.
What he means to you, basically, what the value, what his value is to you. Right. I agree.
And I think the point you hit on about still being under contract, that's an important part to consider and to remember. When you talk about Tarasenko, when you talk about O'Reilly, those guys were impending free agents. They were not, they were not under contract for the following year. So it made sense to move on and get what you can get for them. It's not the same situation with Braden Shen because you don't want to just take what you can get because he's still under contract.
Yeah.
So if it's not to the level, if you feel like you need to be a seller at the trade deadline, if it's not to the level of something that will help you in the future, I don't think that's a move you make just to say we made a move.
Right.
That's an important part of the entire thing as well.
We got a question from Eggplant Emoji from the Snake Pit asking, does Shen have a no trade and would he waive if so? I can't answer that second part. I can't answer the first part. In 2025 through 2027, so present through 2027, he's got a 15-team no-trade list. He had a full no-trade clause heading into this season. Now he's got a 15-team no-trade list. I have no idea who those teams are. I don't know if he would waive his no-trade clause to move forward here. He still has 1, 2, 3 years left after this before he becomes an unrestricted free agent in the 2028-29 season. So hope that answers your question. The other thing I think that if you're Doug Armstrong, you're already contemplating is what is the strength of your core. Do you have elite goaltending? Mm-hmm. Well, Jordan Binnington, we know you get into the playoffs, you have an elite postseason contender or goaltender. Is their defense strong enough to make a strong run? I think that's debatable. You've improved in that area, but I don't know if you're strong enough at the blue line to make a deep run. And I think the other question you have to ask is whether or not you have a true number one center and how's your scoring depth, which has been highly inconsistent this season. The scoring depth has been inconsistent. The other day they dropped 7, but why were we all surprised? Because that hasn't happened a lot. The scoring depth just hasn't been there. So I think after you move on from like the basic, where are we in the standings, to what is the strength of our core? You answer the goaltending question, no problem. The defense and the high-end scoring depth, I think that becomes the bigger question.
Well, also, the goal this season was to make the playoffs. And if you are in striking distance of doing that and accomplishing what you set out to do, for me, Braden Shen and Jordan Binnington, since we're talking about those two, they make you a better team. Like I said, the return has to be something significant, at least for me, to be on board with getting rid of Braden Shen and or Jordan Binnington. Yeah. It has to be, because that's what the goal was this season, was to make the playoffs. Whether you're the first wild card, second wild card, whatever it is, like, just get into the playoffs. I just don't know if you end up getting prospects in return or a draft pick. Like, you already have a lot of guys in your system that we're all kind of excited about. Like, you're sort of pushing your timeline a little bit further now.
Which is also why I feel like trading Shin makes little to no sense because you've talked about it. Not you, but people have talked about it all year. Your center position is a position that you don't have a lot of depth. So trading, you had Pavel Buchnevich playing center. You were trying, we're going to try him there. That didn't work out. And now we're saying that's the reason his game has been kind of off all year long. Like, you have struggled at that position, and then you're going to trade from that position and still be scrambling trying to find someone to fill that role. I think that's also an issue as well, in my opinion.
Let me amend something because Brandon Kiley picked me up on this one. I looked at 2025 and just thought, well, we're in 2025. That no trade clause, full no trade clause for Shen this season. So it goes for the 24-25 season. I had mentioned, well, now he's got the 15 no trade. That doesn't kick in until July when the season ends. So
25,
he's got a full no trade clause right now. So you'd have to approve, obviously, any deal. So thank you to BK. Got my back on that one. I think, when you look at all this, I don't think it's as easy as to say we're not a cup contender, so sell. Because if you want to be a contender next year, these are all things that you need to figure out. You're in a gray area right now, and that's unfortunately what retools are. The Cardinals are going to be in a gray area too for a little bit of time. They're in a gray area even with somebody like Ryan Helsley. Do we do we expect to contend a little bit more next year and the year after? If he wants to be here, Helsley is a born Cardinals fan. He grew up in Oklahoma. He loves the Cardinals. That was his favorite team growing up. Says he wants to be here. If you want to contend in a couple of years, you may decide, hey, we're gonna make a run at him in free agency. But these are all things you have to weigh right now.
Right.
And when you're in a retool, you're in the gray area, and things aren't as easy, obviously, as if you completely suck and you're just trying to set up for the future, or you're a clear contender and that means you're a buyer.
And I think one of the most underrated things when you are in that gray area is culture. Who brings that culture? Who sets the culture? Who is one of your leaders? For me, the two guys that we're talking about, Braden Shen and Jordan Binnington, are two of those guys. If you remove them from the equation and you bring in other talent, who's to say that you get better, right? Like, you could end up being the Detroit Red Wings or the Ottawa Senators. I know the Senators are doing a lot better than they have been in the previous seasons, but you don't want to be in that gray area for like 8 years.
Yeah.
Because you don't have like a set culture. And we've questioned at times the core, and you brought up the core, Carey. Can this core ultimately bring the Blues out of that gray area? We're finding that out right now, and at times throughout the season, we have questioned it. So for me, I don't know if you should move on from one of your guys that sets the culture.
Yeah.
Especially in a time like right now.
It's certainly something you have to consider.
You got a question here in all caps, so I'm assuming that they're yelling at us. What have the Blues done with Shen and Binnington? Nothing. I don't think it's nothing.
They won a cup.
I was just going to say that. I think they have. So, to the 618, there's your something.
Yeah. If you're talking about this year,
maybe they mean
60
this
points.
Year. Maybe they're talking about this year.
Yeah. If it's this year, they have led you to right outside the wild card.
Yeah, I'd argue if they're not on your team, you're probably a worse team.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Waterboy is funny.
He's on one. He's on one going back to my India mistake yesterday.
Anthony was looking at the Africa no trade clause, not the Asia no trade clause.
That's right. Yeah. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Are the Cardinals building a lineup that will have depth? And what are they missing currently when it comes to this lineup, this current lineup, that would lead them to eventually having good balance and good depth? That's next on 101 ESPN. Are the Cardinals building a lineup with balance and depth? It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter. So
Are they the Dodgers?
No. That would be great, though.
That's the
if they
lineup.
could build. Yeah, that is a
Balance
lineup
and
full of balance and depth.
Okay, I was just asking.
Top to bottom, 1 through 9.
For sure.
Power, contact, speed, everything. Yep.
Everything you want.
So in an era of high strikeouts and home runs, the question, some people have posed the question, should Major League Baseball teams build around power hitters, or should they focus on high contact on base players? The answer is yes. I mean, to have
both?
Yes.
Okay.
To me, you're not going to be the Dodgers because you're not going to spend like the Dodgers. But you should still aspire to build a lineup that has power, that has high contact, that has high on base, that has speed.
I have a question.
You shouldn't just have one thing. Yes, Kerry.
Which is easier, to build a lineup with hitters that make contact or build a lineup with hitters that hit the ball out of the park?
I think if you're investing, if you're just choosing a side,
Yeah.
I think that answer is yes. Like you can go if you're fully investing in just power, I think you can do that.
How much money is that going to run you?
It depends on. I mean, there's guys that. I mean, how much? If Gorman hit the open market right now, that's not a player that.
No, okay.
Let's just say he's somebody that he is who he is, right? Like he's an Adam Dunn type.
Mm-hmm.
There's power that's available on the open market.
Right.
There are players that are available that are just kind of on base guys. I think you can pick and choose from the buffet and build the lineup that you want if you just want to take one side. So I don't think it's necessarily one's easier than the other, but I think you run into issues on both sides. So in other words, if you're just chasing power, there's pluses and negatives.
Mm-hmm. The negative mean you're going to swing through a lot of pitches.
You're gonna, and you could run into issues when you have elite pitching, right? Because those elite pitchers, they're going to go for strikeouts.
Right.
If you have a lineup that consists of mostly top end sluggers and power hitters, you're gonna have a lot of strikeouts. However, instant run production, home run, instant run production, so you can win games that way. But you do have weaknesses as well. I mean, look at Gorman against a perfect example. He may run into 5 home runs within a week. Then he may go 2 months without hitting a home run. I mean, they're streaky.
Me, that's why I would say I would rather have hitters that actually make contact. I think more things are you make more things happen when you put the ball into play. Whether it's just hitting the ball, anything can happen. We saw a ball hit to Aaron Judge and he misplayed it in the World Series. We don't normally see that. That started an inning that just went off the rails for the Yankees. You put the ball in play, good things happen. I don't necessarily believe you always have to be, feast or famine. Like it's either hit a home run or strike. I hate that philosophy. I hate that mindset. I think guys that put the ball into play, teams that put the ball into play, generally have better outcomes than teams that are swinging for the fences and not hitting the ball.
Yeah.
Like, that's just my opinion. And the reason why I asked you that, because I think it's easier to find, not that baseball is easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it's easier to find baseball players that can make contact over those that can make contact and hit it over the wall.
Okay, so let me counter that, though, because we're getting some fun. Like 80s Guru says, mustard or mayonnaise, yes. John scores, pizza or tacos, yes. Yeah. If you go throughout a week and you only have pizza, at some point, maybe you're going to get tired of that, right? There's some downsides to that.
What kind of pizza are we talking here?
I don't know. And now, honestly, that I'm saying this, I don't get tired of tacos.
There
so.
you go. You got
a lot of variety in tacos.
Fish tacos,
beef tacos,
beef,
carnitas. Put a little queso on there, which is cheese.
Cheese in Spanish. Good job.
But okay, so if you do have, so to me, the upside of having high contact, right? The case for high contact on base hitter, more balls in play. Could equal more chaos. I don't think that the slumps are as egregious when it comes to guys that can get on base, because you can get on base, through walks and things like that. Elite pitching, there's more ways to beat elite pitching, and the new rule changes favor speed and contact.
Correct.
The problem is, or the weakness, if you have just high contact on base guys, is if you lack power, you're going to have to obviously collect more hits, get on base more in order to push those runs across. And if you're not getting on base at a high value, or a high clip, I should say, your value is limited. And if you solely rely on contact guys, well, if you run into a great defensive team, that could be an issue too. So there's pluses and negatives, which is why I think you need to have all those tools in your toolbox when it comes to building a complete lineup.
Well, that's why I said I also think it's cheaper for just contact hitters. I mean, you look at a guy like Luis Ariz, he'll never make as much as someone that's hitting 40 or 50 bombs.
Yeah.
And he's on base. He's hitting the ball. He's getting a lot of hits, but it's not to the tune of, power hitters. So for me, when you're building a lineup, if you got a team full of power hitters, it's going to cost you a lot of money, in my opinion.
More certainly than high contact.
Correct.
Yeah.
So obviously, yes, you do want to have both. I think if you got both, then you got a team that's probably going to win a lot of games, and you add some good pitching along with that, you're probably going to be a playoff team with the potential to be playing in an LCS.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's feasible for every team to be able to do both or have both. And so if that's the case, I would rather have a team that is getting on base, creating havoc once they get on base, finding ways to move runners over. You don't put the ball in play, man. Mm-hmm. Hit the ball on the right side of the infield. Get the guy over to third. Let's do the little things. If you don't have, it makes my skin crawl watching a batter go up there and swing for the fences and miss continuously. Like, bro, hit the damn ball, will you? Why are you trying to not? It's like me and my golf swing, Anthony. They tell me all the time, let the club do the work. Hey, I'm a big, strong guy. The hell with that. I'm going to let it eat. I'm going for the fence. I'm trying to get to the green on a par 5.
Trying to put that golf ball in the hospital.
What?
I think our guy Jay Delson might have some good tips on that, though.
Nah, Jay, I love Jay. He's told me plenty of times, let the club do the work. No. The hell you think I'm in the weight room for? You think I'm in here to let the club work? Let me work the club.
Fair. Yeah. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
But it's not a good idea because it don't work.
Mm-hmm.
At least you're getting your steps in, walking into the trees.
Yeah, into the brush.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah. Make contact. Hit it straight down the fairway.
Right.
Let the club do the work. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to swing for the fence, Anthony. Mm-hmm. I am. Just like Nolan Gorman. And he's going to go to the bench, and I'm going to go in this roughage and try to find my ball.
But I think, to the overall point, though, you need power hitters. I don't think the Cardinals have enough of anything right now, and that's the big problem, right? Like, I don't think they have enough high on base guys. They have some. Not a complete lineup of guys that are solely getting on base. The Guardians have made the playoffs consistently with high contact guys. But I mean, they're high contact guys. They don't strike out much. They'll take walks.
Yeah.
You're talking about doing something at an elite level. If you're just going to be one way, well, damn it, you better be that way then. And Cleveland has done that. Cleveland's not a high power hitting team. If you're going to be like the Yankees in years past, those sluggers, they better slug. I mean, that's the thing. So I think the Cardinals are trying to build a lineup that's got depth. It's just you don't have enough of anything right now. And if you take Gorman out of the lineup, okay, fine. Ryan said Gorman's going to get exposed this year. Okay, cool. Well, where's your power coming from?
I think it's everywhere, though. I think
Willson Contreras.
Yeah, okay. I think you have guys in your lineup that can run into the baseball from time to time. It's just not one of those guys that is going to hit 50 bombs.
Well, but when I say power, I'm talking about guys that are 25 plus. I'm not talking. This ain't the steroid era. I'm not talking 50. I'm not talking even 40. I'm talking about 25 plus.
I do think the Cardinals have a few players that fall into that category. Like, they can get there based on staying healthy, having a bounce back year. I think it is possible for a few players. I'd even say like 4 or 5 guys maybe that could get to 25 plus.
You think the Cardinals got 4 or 5 guys?
Maybe.
They can hit 25 home runs?
Maybe.
Really?
Oh, all right.
I think Arenado can do it.
I like this optimistic viewpoint.
Cardinals World Series champs.
Marshy.
Come on.
25.
It's not 155, and I'm not talking about the Blues here.
Oh, okay. If they hit 20, if they got 5 guys hitting 25 home runs, they'll be in the
I feel pretty good about that.
Let's think about it. Like, Arenado can do it. He can. I'm not saying that
I understand.
He hit a home run today. Arenado can do it.
He's 24
I think that Willson Contreras can do it. I believe that Jordan Walker, if things go right for him, and that's the whole thing here is if
Right.
I think he can do it. I think Nolan Gorman could do it. You know, I think that Alec Burleson could get into the 20s. I think Lars Nootbaar could end up getting into the 20s. And if Mason Wynn ends up, developing a little bit more power to him, we saw him hit a decent amount of home runs last year in his rookie campaign. So, a full season of Mason Wynn, he hit, 15-plus bombs?
Yeah.
Like, maybe he could be a 20 home run hitter. Maybe not 25, but I think Brendan Donovan could, be roughly in between 15 to 20.
Yeah, I think he's 12 to 15. I think Newt's 15 to 20. I think Wynn's 15 to 20. Like, I think you got a ton of guys that are 15 to 20.
Right. So
potentially.
Maybe there's 4 dudes. Ivan Herrera, what does he look like with a full year? He can swing the stick.
Yeah.
Maybe he's a 15 to 20 home run hitter. So I think if you spread that out throughout your lineup, maybe you have some guys that can really do some damage. But it does ultimately come back. You got to be on base. You got to be on base.
Well, you got to do it all. That's the whole point of the segment is you have to do it all. By the way, Willson Contreras has never hit 25 home runs
in his career.
None.
In ever?
Well, he's playing a different position this year, so
gotcha.
I think he'll stay healthy.
Yeah.
Nobody on the
24
roster.
In 2019.
Nolan Arenado was the only one.
And he hit 16
25
last year.
Yeah.
Just
he had 26
the year before.
Maybe I'm being a little bit too positive.
34. So with the Cardinals, 34, 30, 26, 16. We're looking at a steep decline. I'm just saying. I don't think there's enough power.
I would give Burley. Burley might be able to get. He had 21 last year. He might be able to fall into 4 or more, but I don't think you got 5 guys on this team.
Hence my point.
I don't think you got 5 guys on this team.
With the lack of power.
I'm just saying. I think some guys might step up this year.
Okay, we'll go.
New hitting coach.
I want to see it.
Maybe a different philosophy.
I love it.
Don't talk about the new hitting coach. 618 was I don't think
he knows him well.
Nah, I just think 2 hits yesterday, 3 hits.
Oh,
it's spring training.
Enough.
Yeah,
spring training.
Well, spring training always equates to the regular season.
Trying to win or not?
It doesn't.
Spring training.
Mm-hmm. I think the White Sox had a good spring training last year.
How'd they work out for him?
I actually don't know if they did, but all right, it's Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We got to get to our guy, Jamie Rivers, Blues Caps preview, and we'll light the lamp with Jamie, who will join us via the phone next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Tonight, the Blues take on the Washington Capitals. Pregame for that one starts at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. We have Jamie joining the show from Washington, D.C. We're going to preview tonight's game with Jamie, and we will light the lamp. That's coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh. The Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN with Kerry Davis and Andrew Marsh. I'm Anthony Stalter, and joining us from Washington, D.C., where the Blues will take on the Capitals tonight, right here on 101 ESPN, we got our guy, Jamie Rivers. What's up, Jamie?
Hey, boys. How we doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Blues in a spot tonight against a Capitals team that obviously has been fantastic, but we were talking about it. Kerry and I were talking about like key questions that the Blues need to answer when it comes to potentially, determining if they're a buyer or a seller at the deadline. To me, it's just stay within 5 points like they are now, and at the very least, you're not selling. Is that how you view this as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they've done themselves some favors here over the last couple of games, played really well coming out of the Four Nations break. And I think you're right. Like, if they're within striking distance, I don't know if you're a buyer per se. I think that Doug Armstrong might just stay exactly the way they are, not go and get anybody. Does he trade a UFA or two that he has? I mean, it's not like you have a high-end UFA that you're going to sell off for some tremendous return. And there's no disrespect to the players, but Ryan Suter is a UFA. And if Ryan Suter would like to go to a contending team one more time before he calls it a career, then you probably oblige him with that, just out of the courtesy of rewarding a guy that's played so long. Radek Fox as a UFA, maybe you have the same discussion with him as well and see if he wants to move on to a team that's a contender. Otherwise, I mean, you have Tyler Tucker. But again, the return for any one of those three guys is not going to be astronomical. Just like you said before, Anthony, like, they're more valuable to the Blues than they are probably to somebody else.
Sure.
So I could see Doug Armstrong not doing anything. I could see him just saying, you know what, we'll figure it out in the offseason.
All right, James, so it's a big game tonight. I know you take all of your hockey keys from me. There's a guy out there, Alexander Ovechkin. I want you to keep your eye on him tonight, okay? He's a really good player. Okay, make sure you keep an eye on him. I know you know some things, but this is something that I wanted you to know. I need to let you know this because he's really good. But in all honesty, he is an older player, and I know you think I don't like older players, but I like them when they play well. How is he able to play at this level still at 39 years old?
The guy's a freak, Kerry. He is. And when I say freak, it's not like you're sitting there and you're looking at a physical specimen. You're like, man, what a great God. No, this guy treats his body like people treat golf carts when they're at a golf tournament. Like, I'm telling you, with total disregard. He drinks Coca-Cola, I think, like nonstop. I think he has Coke on the bench, quite honestly. He eats pizzas, burgers. I don't know if he lifts a weight or anything, but he gets around the ice just fine. And obviously he finds the net pretty good too. And he's just an unbelievable talent, unbelievable goal scorer throughout his career. And he's just one of those guys, man, that's just very special for a lot of reasons. And, you're watching him go still at his age. I think he's 37 now, and he's still trucking around out there leading his team in goals scored. So, yeah, he's a lot of fun to watch. Let's hope he's fun to watch in a loss tonight, though.
Yeah, there you go. Well said. So, Jamie, if we are going to kind of do a version of your keys to victory tonight, what are just some things that if you're gonna try to slow down this Washington team that has been red hot virtually all season, what does that look like, and how do the Blues post an upset win tonight?
Well, you got to take a look at the game that the Blues played against the Avalanche and basically mirror that is what you have to do. They're very similar stylistically. whereas they transition extremely quickly up the ice to create offense. They're also very committed defensively, and they get back quickly to take away your time and space. So if you're the Blues tonight, it has to be really, really tight checking and then managing the puck very well. You don't have a play. You can't just throw it out into the universe and hope for the best. You've got to make sure that you protect that puck, put it to an area where, if nothing else, at least it's a 50-50 puck battle. If the Blues can do that successfully, then they'll give themselves a real good chance to win tonight.
Jamie, you look at the record for the Capitals at home. They're 18-5-6, and a team that just beat them is a team that's ahead of you in the Calgary Flames. They did so a couple nights ago. Do the Blues need to mirror essentially what Calgary did the other night to slow down this Capitals team?
Well, I didn't really watch the whole Calgary-Washington game, so I'm not really sure what they did as far as systems or whatnot. But I don't think you can try to mirror anything right now. I think you got to play from within. I think that's the one thing that Jim Montgomery's been steadfast on, is that the Blues have a certain style of play that they have to use to win hockey games, and if they don't, they're not going to win. It kind of goes back to what I said a couple of days ago as well, is you don't look at the schedule, don't worry about your opponent, don't worry about anything, because realistically, if the Blues come and play the way they have the last 3 games, consistent basis, they're going to win more games than they lose. So I wouldn't worry too much about trying to emulate other teams or things like that. I think they just have to play their game. And when they do, they've shown that they can compete with the best teams.
All right, let's light the lamp.
And a couple of guys can really shoot the puck.
Shoot! I must confess you scored first.
Well, who was the first person?
Breakaway! Shoots! Score! We got hockey to learn.
So Carey and Marsh both got on the scoreboard again.
But he got more than I did.
Yes, he did.
I did, and we are
See a Jake
tied.
Neighbors.
Are we tied now?
We are tied now, 14 apiece.
Nice job, guys.
Jamie's at 9 points, and Anthony, you're at 7.
Okay.
You or Jamie didn't get any points?
No,
You had
Carey.
Colton
No.
Parker. Who did you have, Jamie?
Dylan Holloway, I think he's the only guy in the top 6 that didn't score.
Yeah. Sorry.
All right, so who's going first then?
We'll let Carey go first. He was in the lead. I haven't jumped him yet, so Carey still has the honors.
That's fair. I like that.
I got to go Jordan Kyrou. Sorry, Anthony.
Hey, it's okay. That's right. It's a great pick. I mean, hey, if I don't like it, I should play better.
There you go.
Marsh?
I'm going to go with a guy that used to be a part of this organization. That would be Nathan Walker.
Wow. That's got to be a three-pointer.
It is.
For sure.
Jamie?
Yeah, I'm going to take the guy who is playing his 1,000th game tonight. I'll go with Braden Shen.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to go right back to the well. I'm going to go with Colton Parayko. He's having an excellent season. I'm going to try to bank in on some of that success tonight with Colton Parayko. Unless he's tired from the Four Nations tournament and whipping JT Miller all over the ice.
He did score this past weekend.
That's
so-
true, he did. Just not in the game I had him.
Well, of course not.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it goes.
All right, Jamie, we will let you go, and we will talk to you again, I guess not tomorrow, right? Are you on with us tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm in tomorrow, full show.
Oh, there you go. And it's a Freedom Friday tomorrow. Freedom. Last Friday of the month. Yeah, so we got a Freedom Friday tomorrow. So, Jamie, we'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Have a great call tonight.
You got it, boys. Have a good one.
All right, thank you. All right. Marsh is what's trending for you next on 101 ESPN.
Jamie Rivers back with you here, joined by my good friend Katie from Elite Heating and Cooling. Katie, the spring is upon us. What can you tell me about HVAC maintenance?
So, hey, yeah, it's good to talk to you again, Jamie. While it might feel like the spring is upon us, we are still in the winter season. So to have us come out and take a look and make sure that those furnaces are running correctly, that they're not leaking any carbon monoxide into your home, and that you are good to go for the remainder of this season, still a great time to get that maintenance done on your furnace.
All right, Katie, you guys have a slogan. It's no gimmicks, just guarantees. What does that mean?
Basically what that means is we're not going to mark anything up to give you a discount. Our price is going to be true and true year-round. And we do stand behind all of our work. So there's a guarantee on everything that we do for every homeowner and business owner.
And what's the best way our listeners can get in touch with you guys if they have an HVAC that they want to have some maintenance done or cleaning or anything like that?
Sure. So we welcome you to call our office at 636-887-0971.
All right. Thank you so much, Katie, for your help. And listeners, get out there, give her a call. Check out your HVAC units. You want to make sure things are clean, things are up to date, and things are ready to go, especially when it starts to get hot out again. And you can also visit them at EliteComfortExperts.com. Again, that's EliteComfortExperts.com. Katie, thank you so much for your time today.
Thanks so much. Go Blues.
Topics in the sports world.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
It's time to find out with
What's Trending, brought to you by Elite Comfort Experts. Heating and cooling with no gimmicks, just guarantees. EliteComfortExperts.com.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter and Kerry Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, it looks like the UFL might be in a little bit of a pickle. You've seen the movie The Sandlot.
Yeah, it's
anytime something bad has happened, like a runner caught in between bases, he's got to run back and forth. They yell, "Pickle!" Just not a great situation to be in, and I find the UFL, I almost said the NFL, but the UFL to be in a similar spot right now based on what we've seen and what we've heard from the quarterbacks.
Yeah, so hopefully this is a situation where Benny can pickle the beast again, Barry, but doesn't look good. So the United Football League, as Marsh is kind of alluding to, the second season has already hit a hiccup. The United Football Players Association and the UFL have been working toward a new labor contract since December. On February 21st, however, the league's latest proposal included only a small increase in player compensation over the last year when players earned a $55,000 base salary, sources familiar with the negotiation said. The following day, all 24 UFL quarterbacks, 3 per team, signed a letter to the UFL president, Russ Brandon, and executive, Vice President Daryl Johnston, that reads, the proposal our Players Association received on Thursday was unacceptable and insulting. We, all the quarterbacks in the UFL, have collectively decided not to attend the UFL quarterback training camp this weekend in Arlington, Texas, in protest of that proposal and the message that is sent to us players. So they are already taking a stand here. This does not sound good, and this is coming from the Sports Business Journal.
Well, I mean, I will say this. This is one thing that I think the UFL has done well. The player side. Mm-hmm. You wouldn't get all NFL quarterbacks to not show up to something. Yeah, because they just wouldn't. So the quarterbacks essentially speak for the entire team, speak for the entire group. They are the faces of all franchises. I love it. Now, with that being said, you do run the risk of not having any football. Mm-hmm. And that's a risk you run. But when you're just starting out and you're in this and you're trying to get the benefits that you need and the money and the salary that you need, I'm reading here that the lack of year-round health insurance for players is unreasonable, and the inadequate salary increase. Something that they're like, no, this isn't what we agreed to. It's not what we signed up for. We need more. And I tip my cap to them, because it's so difficult. I say this all the time. Major League Baseball has the best players association, and then go pick the next two or three, and then you can put NFL last. Yeah. NFL has the worst. And it's not because, we're not trying. It's too many players, too many different mindsets, too many egos for this group to say this is what we're doing and to not show up. I would assume that they didn't let them know they're not showing up either. Oh, yeah, we'll be there. No, nobody there. Hey, where you guys at? Letter to them. We ain't coming. Yeah. See you when we see you. I love it.
So, hey, if you don't want to show up, you don't want to play, you're not fairly compensated, good for you. Yeah. You feel that way. As a whole, Carey.
Marshy.
This is not good. What? I mean, the UFL is, we all know this is a balancing act for the UFL to create enough revenue where you're going to be, forget profitable, just sustainable. You need a solid business model, long-term sustainability. You need the ticket sales, you need the TV revenue, you need sponsorship deals, you need media rights, you need digital content subscriptions, you need a loyal fan base, you need, everything to be sustainable. And already, we haven't even started year 2 of the UFL, and the players are not happy. I can't imagine that they're lowballing the players because they don't like the players.
It's probably imagine that the money, they don't have enough money.
Exactly. So I think that this is
find it.
Okay.
I mean, the health insurance.
I worry about the UFL.
The health insurance part is, for me, that's extremely important, right? Because your body isn't just banged up during. And I'm assuming that when they say year-long health insurance, lack of year-round health insurance, they're probably insured from the time their season starts or the time they report for training camp and anything up until their last game. But if you get hurt in the last game, do you not have insurance to cover what you got hurt from? Like, if you get hurt in the...
Sounds like an Affleck commercial.
Are you not covered? That's a problem.
Oh, no, I completely... Look, from a player standpoint, I completely agree with you.
I got a torn ACL in the last game, and, we're not going to cover that. Or sometimes things don't pop up until a few days later after the last game. Mm-hmm. I'm not covered, so I got to wait till the following year, or I got to come out of pocket to pay my own insurance to get this surgery or to get this thing healed that I can barely get out of bed because of. That's not okay.
Again, from a player standpoint, I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, just from an employee standpoint, let's just take football out of it. Let's just take anybody walking into their employer, and you flat out do not feel as though that the employer cares or they're taking care of you. That is well within your right to say, I'm not going to put up with this. I'm either out or I'm going to be out if you don't change this. Yeah. That I agree with. I'm just talking about for the health of the UFL. This isn't good at all.
No, it's not.
So I wonder if it folds at some point, and why would you ever kind of take this on again?
It could, because it may not be enough. There may not be enough money being made to do the things that the players are asking.
Yeah.
But that's a conversation that you have to have. Hey, okay, well, show me the books. Show me who's not making a profit. Show me that none of us we're all getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Because if we're getting the short end of the stick, but somebody is making X amount of dollars over, well, why the hell should they get paid more? When we're the product, we're the reason why people are showing up. We're the ones running our bodies into other human beings. And if you're telling me it's not profitable for us, then it shouldn't be profitable really for anyone at this moment. Let's continue to build it. But if you're telling me I'm not going to make the money I need to make, but you are, owner, manager, whomever, leadership, that's a problem.
And I wonder if they're even making money. They have to.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's
I'm not talking about players. I'm talking about like the owners and
the front
everybody, the front offices. I mean,
Correct.
they have to all believe that they weren't going to be profitable for at least 5. That's any business.
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah. But you have to make that clear to the players so that they don't feel like they are getting the short end of the stick. And if you made promises prior to this year that, the salary will increase by this amount. Yes, we will be able to give you year-round health insurance. And then you come back and say, yeah, nah, it's not happening.
Right.
That to me sounds like what I would say is a slap in the face.
Sure.
Like if you tell me you're going to do it and I see the profits taking place and now you're telling me not, the profits were made just for us, not for you. Sounds like some corporations out there.
Yeah.
It's sad.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens with the UFL. This certainly isn't good. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We're going to go around the diamond. We've done this. We're going to do this every day leading up to opening day. But around the diamond, player each day to discuss what the impact is of this season and beyond. Our player today, Willson Contreras. That's next on 101 ESPN.
Around the Diamond with your St. Louis Cardinals.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN 305. Your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Andrew Marsh and Kerry Davis. I'm Anthony Stalter. Around the Diamond, Willson Contreras. I saw Bacon Wrapped Wiener said, hey, has any of these been positive yet? I thought we were positive about Jordan Walker. No?
Very positive.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be positive, too.
Lars, we said we hope he doesn't run into a wall.
Yeah,
I think that's fair.
A great hope.
I think that's fair.
I mean, then, yeah. You know.
All right.
Yeah.
Having said that, what is the biggest question mark surrounding Willson Contreras? It's really just whether or not he can play defense.
Yeah, it's your
first
biggest
base.
question. Anthony,
What's yours?
First base is extremely easy.
Tell him, Wash.
Yeah.
It's incredibly hard. Tell him, Wash.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's gotta be the biggest question, though, right? If we're talking about Willson Contreras, it's whether or not he can play defense.
We haven't seen it full time
At first base.
Yeah. That's
Otherwise, I got no questions about his ability to hit. The guy can rake.
I firmly believe, though, that he'll be fine at first base. I really do.
Okay.
I do. I have more confidence than you do.
It's not it's not like I'm not confident. I have questions. That's all.
Rightfully so.
I mean, you had. Here's what I think. I did a lot of shows with the late, great Chris Duncan. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that he drilled into my head was how valuable and underrated Albert Pujols' play was at first base. And he used to say how many runs and hits Albert took away with his glove. Mm-hmm. And Dunk always said that was the most underrated aspect of his game. And we've had Goldschmidt at first base, who is also a Gold Glove first baseman. Do I think Contreras can be fine at first base? Yes. Do I think we feel the effects, though, at some point of not having a stud glove at first? Mm-hmm. Yes.
Dunk
That's all I'm wearing.
Played any games at first base?
Who?
Dunk.
He came up as a first baseman and moved to the outfield because of Albert.
Got you.
Yeah.
Which was difficult for him.
Dunk struggled in the outfield and had. I'll tell you what.
He said he'd get tight cheeks, right? Didn't he say that?
Yeah, he used to get tight cheeks at bat too. But
I know I heard him say he got tight cheeks.
Oh yeah,
in
that
the
was
outfield.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So those stories were legendary when he talked about being in the outfield stuff. But one thing, he worked his ass off.
Yeah.
Dunk worked his ass off to be a better outfielder. And yeah, he was very self-deprecating, but that Chris always had a lot of pride in anything he did. And I know he gave everything he had to be a good outfielder. I'm sure Contreras has given everything he has to be a good first baseman.
The reason I asked that, because moving to a different position that is unfamiliar, completely different. Like for me, I moved from tailback to fullback. It's still in the backfield. It's still essentially the same role. It's more blocking, way more blocking, Anthony. Way more blocking, oh God. But it's essentially the same role. The view doesn't change from tailback. You're just a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Changing from behind the plate to going to first base, being able to see everything that everyone is doing, to now your view is kind of limited. Same thing from going to first base to outfield. I wonder if that part, if there's a part where you do get man, this is it's real now. You can do all of the reps in the world, but when that moment comes, it changes things come game time, especially for a position when you're first starting out, trying to learn the nuances of that position.
Not to mention, you get some lefty.
Yeah.
That sends a rocket down his way. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't think I guess my main point is, it's not going to be as seamless as some of us think it's going to be. That's all.
I think where my confidence comes in is because of the player that he is, how determined he is, how much fire he has in his belly, that he is going to go out and put everything he has into being the best first baseman that he can possibly be.
Sure.
And so I have confidence in him that he will get to that spot. And throughout the season, I think he'll get better. Yeah, there's probably going to be moments where you're like, oh boy,
right?
Maybe should have had that. Maybe should have had that one. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I think that the way that he carries himself, the leader that he is, the player that he is, I think he's going to do fine. I think he's going to do fine.
I think that's fair. What impact can Willson Contreras bring to the team? Well, leadership, one. Let's just start there. The things that you're talking about. I still remember after he was railroaded by his own pitching staff, how he played in Chicago at Wrigley Field and inspired a lifeless team that first year that he was here. I think he's a lead by example guy. I have no idea when the clubhouse dynamics. I'm not going to pretend to know or that I'm in there. But from what I can tell from the outside, Willson Contreras is a competitive, fiery dude, and the Cardinals could certainly use more of him. But as far as the impact, he's a middle of the order bat. You know, I mean, boom, right there. He's a middle of the order presence.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna do well at the plate. He was the one consistent player, I think, all last year, minus the times where he missed time because of injury. And two of those instances, one came at the plate, he got hit, I think, in the wrist or the finger, broke a hand, broke a finger, and the other one, obviously, behind the plate, getting hit by a bat, breaking his forearm.
Yeah,
like. Those are injuries that you really can't avoid. It's not a lack of toughness for him. I think he's one of the most mentally tough players that they have on this team, to be able to withstand the things that he went through his first year here, to be able to withstand replacing a true future Hall of Famer and a legend like Yadier Molina, and to step in and it be seamless minus, all the chaos that was going on around him. I think he's one of my favorite players on this team because I know what he brings to the table. He brings leadership. He brings championship pedigree. And I know he's going to work his butt off to be the best first baseman he can be. So I don't concern myself with this. I was going to ask you this.
Yes, sir.
Better or worse than Jose Martinez at first base?
I think he could be better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because Jose Martinez was a first baseman. But it wasn't always.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Willson Contreras has played 11 games at first base, 51 in the third innings at first. He has 0 errors committed and a fielding percentage of 1,000.
Perfect.
So
literally.
Defensive run saves.
How many games?
11.
Okay.
11 2 complete games at first base. He's started 4 games at first base, but he's played 51 in the third innings at first.
Yep. There you go. Done deal. All right. John scores. See if his brother can come over to the team. Yeah, I'm in. That'd be nice.
That'd be nice. Yeah, man. The Blues did it with the Joseph brothers.
Contreras behind the plate. Willson Contreras at first.
They'll take Ivan Herrera.
Go fast lane yourself.
Yeah. Huh? Quickly.
Yeah. Call the Brewers.
Get it done.
Get it done.
Do you think, though, that if Willson proves that he can be a reliable first baseman, that they hang on to him and he is the new first baseman for years to come?
You mean like hang on to him throughout his contract?
And maybe past that?
I wouldn't say past it, no.
How old is Willson? 32? He's only 32.
He's still got 3 years left, though, right? Yeah. Is it 3 years?
I think it's 3 years left.
3 years left total.
He got a 5-year deal.
Okay.
So 5, he's been here 2.
Thank you. I mean, if he's 35, 36, you can go year to year. I think any player that's in that 34, 35 range, 1-year deals, more than fair. Option. I would just say 1 year.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to give him a team option for the following year? Team option.
Matt has to play, too, at that age.
Absolutely. Yeah. So. And for him, this isn't somebody that's a pure power hitter. So I think his bat speed. You worry about, it's like speed guys. Speed guys, as soon as the legs go, they're done, and their production drops off a cliff. Power guys, it's bat speed. If the bat speed really slows down, forget it. They're done. Now it's just strikeouts. It's empty calories. But when it comes to Contreras, I don't think he's a pure power hitter. So I think his bat will age well.
And so we were talking earlier about hitting home runs, and you mentioned Willson Contreras hasn't hit more than 24 home runs in a season. He also hasn't played more than 140 games in a season based on injury. I think the move to first base allows him to play more games and stay healthier, which is something that he has struggled with in the past. So
catcher's
I wonder,
nasty.
Oh, for sure.
It's amazing what Yachty was able to accomplish.
Well, and you're not playing 162 at catcher either, so there's those built-in off days as well. I think him at first base, I think we get a new version of Willson Contreras that is for the better, and I think he really does some damage this year at the plate.
That's Andrew Marsh. Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter. We're going to talk to Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, next about tonight's matchup with the Capitals here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, Chris Kerber with you here, and you have heard me talk now for quite a while about Classic Air Care and the importance of having them come out to your house like they did mine and check your furnace, check your AC unit, get the regular maintenance done, and they have maintenance plans available for you. One of those big reasons, at our house we had an older unit, and when you couldn't see what was going on, it was a camera put to the inside that showed that there was a potential crack in a key unit. Had that crack busted through, we could have had a CO2 problem in our house. Those are extremely dangerous, as you know. It was after that we put a CO2 detector in the house. We got a new unit, and we have it maintained every spring and every fall to get it ready. Classic Air Care is there for you as well. Vince, the technician, was very polite and timely, took his time to answer all the questions. Great guy working for a great company, excellent experience. That is an actual review from Christopher L. That's on their website. You can see it. They've got a 4.8 Google rating. Classic Air Care will come out to your house, take care of your unit, make sure that it is ready to go, and most importantly, make sure that it's safe. It's an important thing to keep in mind. If you haven't set up an appointment to have them come out and check into your unit, make sure that you do. You can book an appointment online at classicaircare.com. They've been making people comfortable since 1926.
With Kerry Davis and Anthony Stalter. Tonight, pregame for the Blues and Capitals will be at 5 o'clock. The puck will drop at 6 o'clock. Joining us right now via the Callier and Thompson phone line is the play-by-play man for the Blues, Chris Kerber. Kerbs, how are you?
Anthony, doing well today. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. Thanks for asking.
Good.
Alex Ovechkin, Kerbs, you know, you're somebody that obviously has watched a lot of hockey in your time, and you understand the impact of the game and the impact that players like Ovi have made. if you were to describe it, what role do you think Ovi has in revolutionizing the way we look at the power play?
You know what? You would think he'd have a much bigger role, wouldn't you?
I would
but
think
it's
so.
a thing that teams just have not been able to replicate. Why? Well, because they just don't have Ovechkin's shot.
Sure.
I mean, it is truly, you can make the case, if not the best, it's clearly one of the 3 or 4 best shots, especially from that spot, that the National Hockey League has ever seen. And the numbers bear it out. The numbers play it out. So I think that's all a terrific positive. But the reason I say you think it'd have a bigger role is because, even look at the Blues power play. You don't see a one-timer regularly coming from that spot, do you?
No.
And there's other teams as well. So kind of when I look at it and when I think of the question you just asked, it's kind of funny. It's a hell of a weapon. You still have to one-time the puck. Well, we saw David Perron be able to step up and shoot it from there, but we haven't seen a lot of teams really emulate, just pass it to one guy and let him bomb it. And I think the answer to that is really just because they don't have that one guy who happens to be Alex Ovechkin.
Curves, the Blues have been struggling trying to find that third win in a row all season long. What are the couple of keys that they can get tonight to get that third win that has eluded them all year?
Well, you're going to need goaltending, and that's going to be on Joe Hofer, it appears, tonight. So that's step number one. You're going to have to stay out of the penalty box so you don't have what happened, what Anthony and I were just talking about. I think that's important, and that's number two. And then, they're just going to, again, the Blues, Carey, are the sum of their parts, right? There's no one guy that just stands out as the guy that can take over the game and dominate it for you. So they're going to just have to continue to play that ultimate team game, that they played really since they came out of the break. And if they continue to do that, they'll keep it close to have a chance. You take advantage of your opportunities on special teams if you can get there, and you hopefully squeak out a win. I mean, look, this Capitals team is fascinating, guys, because this is a team that looked like they were about to just hit the skids. Oshie done, all these other kind of things. And you're looking at it going, they don't have a lot of prospects coming up, and they look like a team that could fall right off the cliff and start to compete for a number 1 overall pick. And they didn't. They revitalized their roster. They made a couple of shrewd moves. They made some things happen. And now, once again, they're battling for a number 1 spot in the National Hockey League on top of the Ovechkin excitement. And I think that's amazing.
Kerbs, with everything that you just mentioned about the Capitals, they missed the playoffs 2 seasons ago. They barely squeaked in last season. And what you just mentioned, the Capitals being the second best team in the National Hockey League right now, does that give you confidence about where this Blues team could be maybe next season or the following season if they're on the same kind of trajectory?
Yeah, I really do, Andrew. And I was thinking about this morning, actually, reading an article on Nolan Arenado and then you think of some other teams, and with the trade deadline coming up around the National Hockey League, this is a big contract. You're a team that's going to miss the playoffs. You got to sell. You should get rid of those. Get these rental players out of here, that kind of stuff. And I really started thinking if that's actually smart business anymore in the world of sports. Unless you make the decision to actually tear something totally down to the bone, like the Cubs did when Theo Epstein got there, right? And then totally rebuild that way, I'm wondering why sometimes you don't keep better players and then just go find a way to get some other players in to help support them and speed things up. And I think that's exactly where the Blues are right now. They've got some really good players, and they've got some hopefully really good ones coming. So whether it's good enough to make the playoffs or not, to me, any deal or anything that comes along for the Blues is similar to kind of the Washington Capitals. Hey, we're going to find some guys to complement some of these guys. And if it doesn't do that, we'll maybe look for it in the offseason. But I really do think that the way the Vegas Golden Knights have handled things since they came into the National Hockey League, what the Washington Capitals have done, and then what the St. Louis Blues are trying to show, I think they're kind of rewriting how you can smartly approach a rebuild or a retool, and you don't have to do what the Edmonton Oilers, the Buffalo Sabres, and some of these other teams have done. The San Jose Sharks are doing. I mean, the comments from Seth Jones about the Blackhawks yesterday were extremely telling. So the Blues are doing a good job of avoiding that.
Chris Kerber joining us right now on the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Kerbs, as you can imagine, a lot of people talking about Braden Shen and whether or not the Blues should trade him. And I think for a lot of people, it comes down to why not get something for him in return? But his impact inside that locker room, what would the Blues be losing if they decided to trade Schenn and he agreed to waive his no-trade clause when it comes to his leadership inside the locker room?
Maybe to me, the single most important thing, and that is culture. And you guys have all seen it in sports. I mean, obviously Carey with having played, and then coaching is what. Like, I'm convinced now, the culture of an organization can be fragile. We've just seen it with the Cardinals. Look how quickly a winning way can turn on its head, right? Mm-hmm. And then not just how it impacts on the field or on the ice. It impacts the whole organization, top to bottom. To me, Brayden Schenn right now is a big culture guy. He understands the history of the team. He understands the role that the team plays in the community. He knows what it takes to win. He's the kind of guy that can let some of those attitudes and keep them from creeping in, right? I don't believe that there are a lot more guys on this team that are vocal enough to play the role that Brayden Schenn does in that. So to me, I mean, anything is possible, right? But if you're asking me what you're losing a big-time culture guy. This is a guy over the last few years that's gone out there, dropped the gloves, even if he hasn't wanted to try to get something going. You look around, you're like, is anybody else going to try this and figure this out? He's a guy that understands it, and so that's I think what you're losing. And if you lose that, you got to find a way to replace it. And I'm telling you, that's not easy to do. You can replace the points. You can replace the ice time. I just don't think you replace culture.
Curbs, when Wayne Gretzky retired in 1999, played his final game, did you ever think that we would be sitting here talking about someone breaking his goal record?
Well, I tell you what, not for a little while at that point. Yeah, not when he retired. and what Ovechkin has done is absolutely amazing when you're talking, 19, 30-plus goal seasons, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, and listen, I love a couple – Wayne Gretzky, the number of records that Wayne Gretzky holds, all that other stuff is really quite phenomenal. But I absolutely love this one, okay? Jaromir Jagr is number 2 all-time in the NHL in points, right? Mm-hmm. Wayne Gretzky still has more assists than Jagr has total points, right? Which means we haven't even gotten to any of Wayne's goals, right? And we're not including what he did in the WHA. So, and I'm going to say this, I don't know where you guys are when it comes to records. Like, I'll be real vocal about this one. I saw an interview that Glenn Stalter did, the old, Edmonton Oilers general manager, and obviously them with the Rangers, and, part of, obviously just the amazing Oilers history there, right? I can understand why somebody like that doesn't want to see like a Wayne Gretzky record get broken. But the fact that he actually comes out and says, well, I don't want to see it be broken because he's Russian, is just one of the dumbest, most asinine things I think I've probably heard. Yeah. Right? And sick, to be honest with you. I think it's foolish, right? I think that what you're going to see right now, and I hope it happens this year, and I think it definitely would have. The theory he's on right now is something, but it'd have been a lock had he not gotten hurt and broken his leg, right? But I think this is great for the National Hockey League. I mean, and so instead of ripping this guy who hasn't treated anybody wrong in the league, right, who's been a terrific superstar, who's won a Stanley Cup, who's been exciting as hell to watch, who doesn't just score goals, you throw his body around, he's been loyal to a franchise has been loyal to him, right? Man, this is when you celebrate greatness. And guys, when you're talking about watching somebody catch the Babe Ruth of your sport in a statistical category like this, it's massive. It's exciting, and we should be excited for it. And Ovechkin catching Wayne Gretzky doesn't tarnish a dang thing that Wayne Gretzky is about, will be about, or has done. Again, that's a stupid stat. More assists than the next guy has points. I don't even know how you get a hold of that in your head, right? That's like trying to figure out how broad the actual universe is. Like, you just stop thinking about it and move on to the next topic, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, I'm all for this. I love that we've gotten to watch him, and I think it's just awesome. And the fact that basically you had him and Sidney Crosby come into the league at the same time, and we've been treated to these two guys with those two franchises for that long, and they've stayed great their whole career. Think about this. They've stayed great their whole career. That's awesome. That's just awesome.
Curbs, you mentioned the Ovechkin run and how great that is for the sport of hockey. along with the Four Nations and the impact that that tournament had for, I'd say, the culture here in the United States, the sports culture, trying to grab the casual fan, do you think, at least in your tenure in the NHL, being a broadcaster, that this season in particular has had the biggest impact on the casual fan getting into hockey?
I don't know. I think we got to be careful with summarizations like that a little bit, Marcy, just because of the recency of it. Okay, so I think there's a couple of things here. One, if you go back and you look at some of the great tournaments, like when the United States played Canada, in the Olympics, and everyone's thinking this is going to be a great boom for hockey. You know what it didn't really do? It's not like all of a sudden, your ratings went up 2 or 3 points after that. It did a lot for TJ Oshie on a personal level, for example, when he scored all those goals. But it's not like all of a sudden, like the Blues sold a bunch more tickets. They were selling tickets already for it, right? So I'm careful to throw that out there, kind of like maybe the impact of the 1980 Olympic team, might have had. I will say this, and let's face it, guys, and this is a part of the Four Nations thing that the players made it great because the players bought in and said, we're playing our butts off for something that really didn't mean anything, right? At the same time, when the fights happened, this one part of the game that what people like to debate whether or not should be in there, right? That fueled it more than anything else, and then it led into it. And to see the Kachuk brothers on the Tonight Show or on the, the Kelsey's podcast or on Spittin' Chicklets and doing all this other stuff, they've hyped it up. The hype has continued. I think that's great. But what I really do think matters more is what each individual market does. Like I went into First Community Credit Union, which is a great sponsor of our broadcast, right, with the pregame show. I was in there this afternoon, and the employees had Blues shirts on. There was a sign for Blues youth hockey that they sponsor. It's that kind of community that really does make it grow. The crowd tonight at Centene for Parkway West, at least in the area that I live, is going to be huge for their potential state championship game tonight, right? The Smets got another one tomorrow. Like, that's the kind of stuff to me that makes the biggest difference. And what I will say, Marcy, though, is what you saw, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt, but it's still up to the local markets to do what they need to do.
Well said. Kerbs, we appreciate you. Thanks for coming on, and we'll check back with you again next week.
All right, guys. Have an awesome week. Thank you.
You too. Thanks. That's Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues here on 101 at ESPN. Our Sports Six-Pack is next. If you got a question for us, send it to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Again, that's our Air Comfort Service text line. We'll have our Sports Six-Pack next. The Missouri Valley Conference Tournament is coming to Enterprise Center March 6th through the 9th. They've got several different sessions, leading off with that March 6th date, and it goes through the tournament championship, which is March 9th. And, man, this conference is wild right now. Drake, 16-3 in conference play, 26-3 overall. So, Drake, the Bulldogs, have only lost 3 games. Bradley, though, is 14-5. Northern Iowa, 14-5. And Belmont hanging around at 12-7 as well, again, in conference play. This conference is fantastic. Why don't you head out to Enterprise Center take part in one of those sessions from March 6th through the 9th and grab yourself a family fun pack. $104 gets you 4 single session tickets to one of those games, 4 large popcorns, 4 large sodas. So if you're like me and you got a family and you got young kids and you're always looking for things to do, right? If you head down to Enterprise Center, grab that family fun pack, then you don't have to worry about, Dad, Mom, can I have a soda? Can I have this or that? Everything's included, and you'll have a great time at the Arch Madness Tournament. Again, March 6th through the 9th. Check out that family fun pack.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Blues take on the Washington Capitals tonight. We have an early pregame for you starting at 5 o'clock. Puck drop is at 6. You just heard Chris Kerber, voice of the Blues, right here on the Blues Radio Network. If you missed that interview, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's 101 ESPN mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of our full shows and interviews there. It's all brought to you by the Schaefer Door Company. We have our Sports Six-Pack coming up next, so get your questions into the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646. Six-Pack coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Carey, never be eaten when the mics get cracked.
No, you shouldn't. But I thought about this. You know, people often, because when Marshy's doing his updates, they can see me eating. And I thought about it. We only get like 2 or 3 minutes to eat.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll come back and I got to hit my button because I'm chewing food and trying to drink so I can get it all down. And you only get like 3 minutes in between breaks. So it takes... You know, sometimes it takes a couple of segments to get your entire meal down. By the time you get to it the second time, it's cold.
I started mine at 2:30.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you gotta do what you gotta do though, Anthony. Otherwise, we might pass out on air.
Yeah.
And then we already got fussed at for having dead air a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, people pissed.
That was when we were breathing and sighing.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's terrible radio.
Sorry, we're breathing.
This is terrible radio.
Sorry, we have to breathe. Yeah.
Sound like a dog.
Anyway, time for the Sports Six-Pack. Question 1, please.
Question number 1.
All right, from the 618, what is your opinion on more technology being added to the way that sports are officiated? Automated strike zone, NFL is adding the line of scrimmage technology. Is human error a part of sports worth keeping to an extent?
Yeah, I think to an extent. That I do, yeah. When it comes to like these robot umpires and things like that, be careful what you ask for. Because sports has never been about completely eliminating the human error. So, to some extent, you're always going to have umpires. You're always going to have officials. You can't yell at a robot.
Sure, you can.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can.
My fear is, I saw a documentary about those robots.
Ooh, there's a lot, actually.
There's a lot now, yeah.
Well, it was a while ago.
Was it with Will Smith?
Yeah. That documentary got a little scary.
Then they turned from blue to red.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And
when they
tried to take over.
There was nothing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bunch of them.
Mm-hmm. But not Sonny.
No, Sonny fought.
Good.
Yeah, Sonny fought back.
Yeah.
What was I going to say on that? Front with the computers and I saw somebody ask like AI how they would destroy the world.
Iverson?
No. Artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They asked, how would you destroy the world?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, here's what I would do. I'd get everybody on 2 sides and they'd all fight against each other. And basically everything we're doing now. Control the narrative, use the media, things like that.
That's interesting. That's why the media is so important. That's why our job to tell the truth is so important.
Our job. Oh, you're including us in that.
We're in the media. You got to tell the truth. That's why I don't watch certain shows, certain programs on either side.
But you got to tell the program.
No,
I do watch the program.
I watch the program.
Yeah.
but not those programs.
No.
Nah.
Anyways, I think the human element needs to be kept in the game.
I don't know how we got there.
For the most part. That's all right. I'm going to
you know what,
get us right back on the road.
Sometimes robots don't necessarily, tell the truth. They're a little deceptive, like in the documentary Ex Machina, right? This one robot, artificial intelligence, got a man to fall in love with said robot, and then she completely backstabbed him and left him there to die. Even the creator.
Wow. No kidding.
Yeah.
I saw a documentary once where the robot was a maid that looked like Megan Fox.
Was it the Jetsons?
Nope.
Oh.
Nope. And then she fell in love with the guy.
Yeah.
And his wife was sick, and she just tried to eliminate that wife because she felt that he was sad. Blamed her. Things went sideways in a hurry.
Be careful with those robots.
You got to be careful with those robots.
Before you know it, they'll be playing the game.
Wow. Didn't even think about that.
Like,
they just replace.
They replace the players.
Right.
You're already replacing the umps. You're moving closer to the field.
That's a great point.
Let's
keep the umps right where they're at.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Let's keep the officials and the refs right where they're at.
Next thing we'll be watching them. They'll
Not
never
up in here, robots.
They'll never miss
Not
a
up in
shot. The game will be played. You think people complain about the length of games now? Imagine a game where you hit a home run every time you go up to plate. Or you make every shot, and then the other team goes down and makes every shot.
Yeah.
It never ends.
It's like super mega baseball.
It's like forever.
I don't want it.
A football game, huh? The offense always scores. They score an 80-yard bomb every time they go
the
out there.
defense would still be programmed to stop the offense.
No, the NFL is set up for the offense to win, Anthony. You know this.
Even robot NFL?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Keep it in place.
It's a tragedy. Tough to watch, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question number 2.
Anthony is the cheater you try to play Monopoly with.
What did you cheat at?
I don't know. That's what Ryan said in
Ryan
in the snake pit. I'm actually curious what Ryan means by that and what I said.
Why would you cheat at Monopoly?
I wouldn't. That's what I'm asking Ryan.
Speaking of games taking forever, Monopoly is a game that takes forever.
Oh yeah.
Hey, be there. You dedicate 2 to 3 hours at least.
Yeah, no thanks.
Same with Catan. But man, it's a great time. You guys ever play the Settlers of Catan?
No.
Oh, it's a fantastic board game.
Karen and I grew up with the Oregon Trail, though.
Okay.
You ever play the Oregon Trail?
I think I played a version of it in middle school. We were learning about said Oregon Trail.
Yeah. There you go.
It's in the western part of the United States.
It's tough, man.
Oregon, that is.
Carey has.
I got a
typhoid fever.
Oh, no.
You know?
Oh, no. Am I going to survive?
You can put your friends in there.
Was I going to survive?
Oh, no. No, you're done.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't.
It's been a while since I played that game.
Yep.
All right. Question number 2 is from the 314. How much do wins in the preseason mean to the mental health of the Cardinals?
I don't think that wins necessarily mean a lot. I think performing well means a lot. I think having success anytime you play is healthy. Now, there may be a little bit of unhealthiness. We were talking to Joey Vitale, and he's talking about, see, the kid not letting kids win. I got to win every time.
That's just a philosophy. I like that.
Always win. Always be winning.
You don't want lose. Really, it's more about losing, seeping into your day-to-day.
I love it.
And Sid Crosby is not gonna let that happen.
None of them.
I don't blame him.
Not you, child. Hell with you. Figure out how to win on your own.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that winning is important. It's important to a degree, but I think performing well, feeling good at the plate, not having any errors in the field, pitching well. We had a rough outing today. Had a couple of rough outings back to back by a couple of pitchers, Palante and Tink Hintz.
You hit a rough one today, huh?
I had a rough day, man. Not great.
No.
You don't want to
get him out of the rotation.
See, that's why you don't want to.
He only had 3 hits yesterday. Now Palante's giving up 4 earned runs. Get him out.
That's why you don't want to have
Michaelis.
Yep. So you don't want to have a bad day.
Yeah.
Because people like Marcia start screaming at you.
Mm-hmm.
Get the robots in there. We need a real pitcher.
Nope. We got to draw the line on these robots. Okay, why don't we continue our sports six-pack? How many we get to there, Marsh? 2?
We got
3?
to 2 questions, but I think we had some very quality discussion.
Good. All right, well, we'll try to get to the rest of the 4 next on 101 ESPN.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Part 2 of the Sports Six-Pack is next here on 101 ESPN. Now, Kerry Davis, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh with question 3, please.
Question number 3.
All right, gentlemen, the 618 reminded us today that, unfortunately, Gene Hackman passed away. What was some of your favorite moments of Gene Hackman in some of the documentaries that we like talking about?
Is that my picture?
Yeah, it is your picture.
Yeah. What movie was that? I mean, not movie. Oh, that was the Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, no, it's a picture of
Nick
Sirianni.
Sirianni.
When you said he was the off-brand.
Yeah, no, I am, though. Yeah. Well, I clarified after the Eagles won the Super Bowl that I am, in fact, the off-brand Italian.
You're forgiven.
He's the legit one. Best movie, Gene Hackman?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, there's a lot. You got to go Hoosiers, but I think Hoosiers is like the poster child for Gene Hackman. I'll give you one that Kristen and I quote a lot. My wife and I quote a lot. It's Heartbreakers. Yeah. With Jennifer
Is that a rom-com?
Hewitt. A little bit.
Okay.
Sigourney Weaver and Ray Liotta and Gene Hackman, who is hilarious in it.
I'm going to go Enemy of the State.
Ooh, that's a good one.
With Will Smith. He was a really good guy. I love that movie. Every time it comes on, there are certain movies that when they come on, I just keep watching them, even though I've seen them like 25, 35, 45 times. Yeah. That's one of them. I watch that.
Well, we were talking about the UFL today. Some people texting in about maybe the quarterbacks being replaced.
Yeah, replacements.
How about the replacements?
Here's the head coach and the replacements. Let's see here.
Behind Enemy Lines was another one. That was a good one.
He was in Behind Enemy Lines? With
Owen Wilson?
Owen Wilson?
Yeah.
He was also Lex Luthor.
Ooh. I liked Behind Enemy Lines. That was good. I haven't seen it in a long time. It maybe it hasn't aged as well, but yeah, he was great. Gene Hackman.
Enemy of the State is my favorite though.
Okay.
He was Brill. Secret spy. Had the cat and the whole thing because Will Smith had made a phone call.
That's Austin Powers.
Oh no, he had a cat too.
Oh.
I think the cat's name was Jinx.
Jinxie Cat.
How I know that. You ever have random information in your brain
I think
that you don't know
Jinx
why?
was the cat
I wish I had
from,
random information in my head yesterday.
What's that? Jinx. Oh.
You know what I mean?
Jinx was
like,
the
why
cat.
did that random information just pop into my head yesterday instead of making a fool of myself?
So Sabrina, the teenage witch. I think
that was a cat.
Or was it Binks? It was either Binks or Jinx.
Jinxie Cat is Meet the Fockers.
Oh, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
That
or
is
Meet the
Jinx.
Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents.
Yeah. Okay. That might be it.
You pothead Focker?
I'm completely wrong. His name's not Jinx.
Okay. What's his name?
Anyways, rest in peace.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of? Hocus Pocus. The cat is named Binks.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You're right.
Salem was the cat on Sabrina.
Yes. Yeah, it looks like the same cat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
Detroit FX Anthony needs to look at a globe. Honestly, I don't. That's the funny part. I was thinking about it. I'm like, why don't I know this stuff? It doesn't help me get a job, at least for this one. It doesn't help me pay the bills.
I think the part that is...
Kids still love me.
I think the part that is a bit troubling for people is 7 continents, correct?
Yes.
So, you knew North America and South America were not an option. So then you got Europe.
Do you want to know how I got there?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
I do.
One, I didn't listen. Okay, that's one.
That's
I was pissed off right away because it was random.
Yeah.
So you started to tell the question or ask the question. And then I go, all right, options. And then you two had a look. I said something, and then you go, well, you got to listen too. And I'm like, uh-oh. Now I'm on the spot.
Yeah.
I didn't listen. So I asked you to repeat it.
And the options.
But I really didn't
lock in.
I didn't lock in.
Yeah.
I think you were locked in on the PFAL part of the question and not
I was.
like India.
Yeah.
That's exactly. I'm like, PFAL. Why are we talking about PFAL? This is where my mind goes. Why are we talking about PFAL? So it jumped. My mind jumps.
Yeah.
And then I have to lock back in. And I was thinking, like, India hangs down. Does it hang into Africa?
There you go.
I think the way that the question was worded, which I think it was worded fine,
It was
but
worded
I could
fine.
understand where you were thinking, okay, like
Wait.
Indian peafowl, is that a part of a different
I completely
continent?
blew
Like,
it.
is it like something that has been brought into another country that, they use or something, much like food from other places have made their way here.
My brain shut off. Horrible timing. If you were to strip all the names off of a map and ask me where India is, I'd point right to it.
Right.
It was. I had a brain fart of a moment.
It happens.
Everybody had fun with it.
Yeah.
Except for me. And
Well, not me, Doug.
we all got we all laughed at me. But here's the thing. Now I can say where it's located, what continent, Asia, and we're all on the same level again.
And now you get to laugh with us today instead of
exactly.
us laughing at you.
Yep. John asked, "Hey, Anthony, what state is Missouri in?"
Listen.
Very funny.
You all asked me about Pirates pitcher, Hall of Fame pitcher. I said Willie Stargell. I just hired Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's different though. I mean,
Is it?
It's way different. Droid FX, I graduated with a bachelor's in geography, so it hurt my soul, Anthony. Droid, here's the thing about your bachelor's. It's about as useless as mine in journalism.
Hell, what is
Jeez.
I'm just saying.
What's going on?
I'm kidding. But grade school, like grade school stuff, right? Like my kids, I got 2 kids in grade school, one in 3rd, one in 1st. They bring home this information, stuff like that, and they're so concerned. They got to know this, whatever. I'm looking at it, I'm like, I don't use this crap ever. And I know that hurts scholars, right? Like teachers and stuff. They're like, this is ridiculous. It's basic, whatever. All right, cool.
Well, yeah.
I don't use 95% of it. Droid, I was just kidding, by the way.
My daughter
just kidding.
Had a geography test the other day, and she called me, and we were talking, and I said, well, what is the capital of this? What is the capital of Missouri? Oh, Jefferson. Okay, good. What about Delaware? She's like, I think it's Dover. I said, it's not Dover. It was Dover. I had no clue.
Yeah, but
said,
who
Dad,
cares?
you were wrong.
Right?
Like,
Well,
sorry.
I mean, you care then.
Yeah.
Like you care in high school. For example, when was the last time I was asked where any country was located? What continent a country was? Go ahead.
7th grade geography?
Probably. And then yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So should I know it? Absolutely. Should I know basic stuff? Absolutely. My brain shut off. I was in a bad mood. Hated that it got random. And you know what? I paid for it. I
You know what
paid
this
the
means,
price.
Anthony? We need to take a trip to India.
Well, if I'm going there, that's different.
We should go.
You know? Otherwise, I don't.
Sri Lanka.
Here's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I was more
Which is
concerned.
located, of course, in India.
Good job.
Which is in the continent of Asia.
Yeah. Good job.
I was actually more concerned that you didn't know what queso was.
Well, the thing that tripped me up on that, I'm like, queso dip. Do you say queso cheese dip?
Or is it
just queso dip?
Like a quesadilla?
No, just like,
okay.
Do you say queso dip or queso cheese dip? That I was getting tripped up. Look, I don't have to explain myself to you people.
I think what you care about most is that you found your shaker bottle.
He did.
I lost it. No, I didn't.
He blamed me for not telling him I'm sorry that he lost it.
Well, that I did, yeah. Yeah. Anthony should have composed, "Are you smarter than a 5th grader?" I'll tell you right now, I'm not. I'm not going over what 5th graders are going over. You know? Again, should I know this stuff? Sure. Do I? No. But it all made for a great moment because everybody got a good laugh.
Good.
You guys felt good. Mm-hmm. The listeners felt good. I went home. I had a serious thought about whether or not I should continue. But I'm back. I'm here.
Yeah. Cool. We're glad you're here, Anthony.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
I'm happy you're here, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Wouldn't be the same if you weren't.
No.
Thanks, guys. Well, this all leads us, of course, to round 2 of the Gauntlet after I lost yesterday. So now it's either Carey or Marsh's turn to take down. Is it Ben?
It is Ben.
Ben Folds 5. Next on 101 ESPN. My guy Stewie is standing right now on the line, and one of the things that Stewie does is he's making things happen, whether it comes to mortgages, whether it comes to refis, debt consolidation, anything, right? Stewie, just call you. You're standing by ready to make things happen.
Well, there's a window of opportunity. Back in September, October, the Federal Reserve came out. They said they were going to lower interest rates. Interest rates dropped. All of a sudden, inflation bounced back, and the opportunity was lost. Well, the retail sales report that just came out 2 days ago indicated that sales are the slowest or the worst jump or decline in a 1 month period since 2023. Mortgage rates have dropped like a rock. Now, this is a real short opportunity because on March 12th, the Federal Reserve is going to get the report about inflation for last month. And if they see that February's inflation numbers are higher or the same, interest rates are going to bounce right back up. So there's a short window of opportunity right now. You can refinance with just a customer saving $210 a month. He's got a rate in the 7s. Be smart. Take advantage of the window of opportunity. Get your lower rate for free with the bagel loan. If rates go down later, you can always refinance again for free. So take advantage now. If you got that higher rate, you got the PMI, you got that FHA loan, call right away. Get locked in because we just don't know what tomorrow is going to bring.
That's my guy, Stewie. Give him a call, 314-324-4440. Again, 314-324-4440. Call him, text him, doesn't matter. That's because that's his personal cell phone number. He's standing by. Like you said, he's ready to make things happen. Do it now, though. Don't procrastinate. Don't push it. Don't put it off constantly. Get it done, and he'll make it easy for you, too. I've seen it in person. He's fantastic. And if you miss that phone number, you can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good day, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
WXOS HD1 East St. Louis, 101 ESPN is driven by Brown and Crouppen Law Firm. Warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
Brought to you by Blue Note Roofing. Roofing, siding, and gutters. Visit BlueNoteRoofingSTL.com for a free inspection.
All right, time for the Gauntlet here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN after my brutal performance yesterday in the Gauntlet. Ben is back. Ben got the dub. That's the most important thing. And Ben is here to take on CD or Marsh. What's up, Ben?
How we doing, fellas? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. You picking up the kids again?
No, I'm actually taking a little break from work. Had to come out to my truck and get some peace and quiet so I could make this phone call.
All right. Ben, I thought you were going to say I was taking a break from the kids. I'm not parenting.
No. I'd much rather be with the kids.
There you go. All right. Ben, would you like to take on Marsh or CD?
Well, I love you, CD, but I think I'm going to take you today, buddy.
Oh. All right. I thought you were going to
go to Marsh there, yeah.
Well, I think based on what we know from Ben, sounds like a fantastic guy.
That's true.
I don't think he wants his Gauntlet dreams to come to an end so quickly.
That's right. Carey Davis.
Good luck, Ben.
All right. Thank you. You too.
All right. Carey's going to go into the cone of silence right now. Ben is going to tell Marsh to spin that wheel. Go ahead.
Spin the wheel, Marshy.
You open for random?
Geography, actually.
It's not me. It's CD today, so I'm sure Carey's much better at geography.
No, I'm very average at everything, so it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. All right. Well, what did we get, Marsh?
Today, it is not random. It is hockey.
Hockey today. All right.
Okay.
You good with that?
That'd be interesting.
Thank you, Marsh. You good with that, Ben?
I mean, it'll be all right. At least I'm not facing Jamie, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So, Ben, you know how this works, but for those that don't, you're going to get 4 hockey questions. All were 2 points unless you ask for the options. If you ask for the options, those questions become worth 1 point. Are you ready?
Ready.
Question 1. Who won gold in hockey in the last Winter Olympics? Who won gold in hockey in the last Winter Olympics?
Options, please.
Sweden, Finland, Canada.
That's weird. For some reason, I don't think it was Canada. I'll say Sweden. Final answer.
Question number 2. Name the winningest Swedish goaltender in NHL history. This goaltender won 459 games in his career, but never won a Stanley Cup.
Options, please.
Is it Pekka Rinne, Henrik Lundqvist, or Tommy Salo?
I'll take Lundqvist. Final answer.
All right, Ben. Question 3. Name the only active Blues player who was born in Chechnya. Excuse me. Sorry. Go ahead, Marsh. Chechnya. Bless you.
I was going to say, is that even real?
No, it's not. I made it up. Screw you, Ben, for yesterday. I made up a country.
Options, please.
Radek Faksa, Alexei Toropchenko, or Oscar Sundqvist?
I'll take Faksa.
Final
answer.
All right.
Final answer.
Question number 4. Name the player on the Blues roster who is the only one that was drafted by the Nashville Predators.
Options, please.
Options are Nick Leddy, Ryan Suter, or Alexander Texier.
Nick Leddy. Final answer.
All right. Let's bring back Carey from the Cone of Silence. Ben, how you feeling today?
All right, I guess.
Okay. Oh, you're rocking today. Okay. The Cone of Silence is
Not silent at
So
all.
you can't see Carey, and of course I have a good angle. I saw Carey. It looked like he was punching the air.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or it looked like he was trying to grab his lawnmower and rip it and get it going. And yeah, he seems fired up right now.
Oh, man.
What were you listening to?
Oh, Renegade.
Oh, no. That's not good for Ben.
The news is out. They finally found me. Those renegades ahead of me. All right. Let's lock in.
All right.
You got hockey today.
Oh,
Got hockey to learn.
gotta love it.
You ready?
Nah, sure.
Okay. Marsh?
Pack a lunch.
Okay.
Who won gold in hockey in the last Winter Olympics?
Oh. Ooh. Options.
Was it Sweden, Finland, or Canada?
Not what I was thinking at all. Clearly don't know this. I'm worried. Nah. Canada. Final answer. Oh. Canada. Final answer.
Okay.
Damn.
Question number 2. Name the winningest Swedish goaltender in NHL history. This goaltender won 459 games in his career, but never won a Stanley Cup.
Oh, man. All right. I need options for that one as well.
Options are Pekka Rinne, Henrik Lundqvist, or Tommy Salo.
Let's go with Henrik Lundqvist. Final answer.
Jason said, just tuning in. What's with the Oregon sweatshirt, CD?
Ah, man. My guy. Tion Gray, defensive tackle. Went to Hazelwood Central, now at the University of Oregon. Coached him in high school, and going to be a really good player. He got me this sweatshirt, so I have to wear it. Yeah.
There you go.
Got me together.
All right. Marsh, you ready for this one?
Yeah.
Here we go. Name the only active Blues player who was born in
Chechnya.
Active, as in on the team right now?
That's correct. That's correct.
Oh, okay. This is going to be a doozy, isn't it? As in on the roster right this moment, eh? Honestly, Turchenko would make the most sense, but that doesn't. I don't know if he's Russian or where he's from. I'm running through the. Where's Sonny? No? That's not Chechen. Is that the right time? Let's go Turchenko. Final answer.
Question number 4. Name the player on the Blues roster who is the only one that was drafted by the Nashville Predators.
On the current... Oh. I'm trying to run through all these players in my head. Nope. Okay. I feel like I have an answer, but give me the options.
Options are Nick Leddy.
Damn it!
Ryan Suter or Alexander Texier.
I think it was Texier. Texier came from Columbus, correct? Leddy was the one that was in my brain. Then you said Suter, and that kind of threw me off. Give me Nick Leddy. Final answer.
Let's go over these. Ben versus CD. Name the winningest Swedish goaltender in NHL history. This goaltender won 459 games in his career, but never won a Stanley Cup. You both took the options. You both wound up with King Henrik Lundqvist. Correct answer is...
It is Hank.
Nice job to you guys. Ben 1, CD 1. Let's continue. Name the player on the Blues roster who was the only one that was drafted by the Nashville Predators. CD really torturing himself on this one. He thought Nick Leddy. Then he heard Nick Leddy was an option. He went with Leddy. Ben also went with Nick Leddy. Correct answer is...
It is Ryan Suter.
Ryan Suter is the correct answer. So we're still deadlocked at 1.
I was going to say that.
What's that?
He said he was going to say that.
He was going to say that.
I was going to say that.
Who won gold in hockey in the last Winter Olympics? Carey, now you're beating yourself up on this one, too. You went with Canada.
Yeah.
Did you not want to go with Canada?
I should have not taken the options.
You just should have gone with Canada. Okay. Ben did take the options. He went with Sweden.
No. Well, maybe I'm wrong.
Correct answer is...
You're wrong. It's Finland.
Finland is the correct answer.
Gosh.
Finland. So we got a 1-1 tie.
Yeah.
It comes down to this.
All right. My stuff up.
Name the only active Blues player who was born in...
Czechia.
Carey? Without the options, you went Alexei Toropchenko.
Should have taken those options now.
Your options were Radek Faksa, Oscar Sundqvist,
That's funny.
or Alexei Toropchenko.
Okay, maybe I didn't need the options.
Ben took the options and went with Radek Faksa.
That's a good choice. Damn good choice. Ben.
If it's Faksa, Ben wins. If it's Toropchenko, CD wins. If it's Sundqvist, well, got a walk-off. Ben.
You have chosen wisely.
It was Radek Faksa. And Ben wins 2-1 in another defensive struggle today. Nice job, Ben. You'll be back tomorrow for round 3. Well, you'll take on either Jamie or Andrew Marsh on a Freedom Friday. Nice job, bud.
Wonderful. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Nice
See you tomorrow.
work. Yeah.
Good
Nice
job,
work.
Ben.
All right, guys.
All right. We'll see you.
I knew it.
Sorry, Carey.
Yeah. It's okay. Happens.
It happens to the best of us.
You just got to remember the Ankos
the
are
Ankos.
Russian.
Yeah, true. Yeah. DLW 1904 says Toropchenko was born in Moscow.
Yeah.
Which, of
I was
course, would be in
wondering if
Russia.
Russian when I said, but I couldn't even think of Faksa. So,
Well, don't worry about it.
yeah, I'm going to worry about it from back there, though.
Happens to the best of us, happens to the worst of us, too.
the best of times, it's the worst of times.
That's right. All right, it's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Kerry's going to head to the penalty box, and we're going to talk about whether or not a balanced roster is better than perhaps being elite in at least one area of the roster. Kerry's already shaking his head. I don't know what he's shaking his head about.
I don't either.
We'll find out next on 101 ESPN.
Flying down to Florida for a spring training report on 101 ESPN. Our Redbird Spring Training Report is brought to you by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Andrew Marsh, Anthony Stalter, Kerry Davis from the penalty box. I just taught Kerry something.
Yeah, something random.
Yeah.
You want to share it with the with our listeners?
On the periodic table, AS, is arsenic.
Well done.
Which could be deadly.
Oh, is that? I see what you did there.
Yeah. Don't want to ingest that stuff, Marsh.
Yeah.
No. No, you don't. No.
Okay. Lesson of the day here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Balanced roster or elite in one area? I was thinking about this when it comes to like the Cardinals and the Blues. They're both going through retools. They're both trying to figure out what areas of concern that they have within their organization. So, for example, the Cardinals obviously going way back to the offseason where they admitted the player development, we're lacking. We're lacking in the player development. So that's a concern in the organization. Both teams, though, are trying to identify what's missing on their roster, too. They can start with talent. Top to bottom.
Wow.
Top-end talent. Did I say talent overall?
You just said
Top-end
talent.
talent. Top-end talent is what I meant.
Harsh, man.
It was harsh. Too harsh.
Yeah. Okay.
Top-end talent. When it comes to roster building, though, do you guys fall more into the category of I'd rather have a balanced roster? Even if it's not top-end talent, I've got a nice balance throughout my roster. Or would you rather be elite in one area? For example, Carey, like elite starting pitching, but the offense, that can be hit and miss.
What sport are we talking about? Any sport?
Any sport. So you can choose, like elite.
Yeah, give me an elite player.
Goal.
I don't
elite goal prevention.
Yeah. Give me elite. I don't want a group of average guys. Give me someone that is elite. Even if that's someone you walk every time he comes up to the plate. Barry Bonds. At least I know you're on base. Give me elite.
Well, I'm going to give you more than that. I'm not just giving you an elite player. I'm giving you an elite
position
aspect.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. Give me
so
that.
goal prevention, starting pitch. That's where I'm at.
Give me that.
Okay, but it comes with weakness in another area of your I'm with you. Okay.
I got Michael Jordan, and I can have.
We can move right on.
No, I'm going with the opposite.
What? You want an average team of guys?
Is it average or is it a little above average?
It's average. Didn't you say average?
I said balanced.
Balanced.
Which is
That's
average.
Different. No,
It could be.
It could be. You know what?
Doesn't
How about
necessarily
this?
mean that.
How about this, Carey? How about we give
That's
you
a jack of all trades and master of none.
How about we give you a really good offense? So good, right?
How good?
Like Bengals good. And then we're going to give you the Bengals defense. Have fun with that team.
Okay.
They won 9 games.
Okay.
And guess where it got them? Sitting on the
Ball
couch.
bounce here and
They're in
there.
the same spot that I was watching the playoffs, on the damn couch.
You know what we got? We know what we got next year, though?
Bounce
We got
here
an
and there.
elite offense.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
You know who had a balanced team? Pittsburgh. They were pretty balanced.
Here we go.
Sure.
Getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs. Here we go.
They were pretty balanced. They weren't elite in any area.
That's okay. So, is there a team that you have seen that has found success that isn't elite in, that isn't elite in one thing, and they're a championship team? Because I'd argue that championship teams are elite everywhere, and that's what makes them a championship team.
Some are Dodgers,
elite everywhere.
Eagles, for the most part, elite everywhere.
Defense, elite offense,
certainly. But I would argue the Vegas Golden Knights, elite goal prevention. I don't think they had elite scores when they won.
Anthony.
They didn't have elite scores.
They didn't have an elite on their team.
They have an elite offense, though. They had elite.
How many goals did he have that year?
I would argue that they had some elite players on their team.
How many goals did he have that year?
How many goals did he have? I mean, probably not as many as that. He's no Rocket Richard winner by any means, but he's Jack Eichel.
What about the Royals?
He's a superstar.
What about the Royals?
The Royals, they had an elite. They had an elite bullpen.
Exactly.
Elite pitching.
But they didn't have an elite. They didn't have a balanced roster, top to bottom.
Had an elite catcher. Would you call him an elite catcher?
I would.
Absolutely.
Yeah. There you go.
Absolutely.
But
they
everything
had guys that could hit in that lineup.
Come on. Not the balance that I'm talking about.
Okay, what about the Cardinals when they won the World Series?
Okay, but you have to also take away that elite aspect for yours to work. That's part of the argument. So you cannot
they're
have
balanced.
Yeah, so you cannot have an elite bullpen. You can have a little bit better offense on that Royals team, but nothing's elite.
I'm just saying, you could have a really good something and you still lose because you're deficient in other parts of your game. And for me as a fan, like, it's real fun watching my team lose 9-8. Oh, well, we could score 8 runs, but our pitching sucks.
Well, it doesn't mean that you can't, like the Bengals, your example, that doesn't mean that you can't get better.
You didn't like watching the Bengals play
You could say the
football?
same thing about having a balanced team, that every night you can win in different areas of the game. One night, if we're talking about baseball, maybe one night your pitching has a great night. Maybe the next night your offense comes alive and you win, 6-2, or not even 6-2, but like 6-5 or something. But then the next night, it's kind of a closer game, whatever. And all of a sudden your fielding ends up making a big play. Like,
do you hear what word he used, CD?
What did he say?
A couple of times.
Yeah, I was going to say consistency. It sounds like
he used
something.
the M word a couple of times.
What?
Something is
maybe.
Yeah, something sounds inconsistent when you say that. Like
you
when
said
you
maybe
I'm throwing because I'm throwing out different scenarios.
Well, yeah, if maybe the hitting is good this day and maybe the pitching is good that day, it sounds like the other days it's inconsistent.
Yeah, maybe if you're elite center field who hits over 50 home runs, catches a damn ball in center field, you actually go to Game 6 of the World Series. Maybe, right?
He should have caught it. He made a mistake. Generally speaking, him being the elite player that he is, you don't generally have those mishaps.
Well, maybe if he actually hits the damn ball in the playoffs, maybe the Yankees win the World Series. He could do it all damn season, but he couldn't do it in the World Series outside of one game when you're down 3-1 in the series.
Yeah. Royals fan popped in here to call us dumbasses. We were elite top to bottom, elite outfield, elite infield, elite pitching, dumbass. Hey, that's called elite run prevention, you beautiful human being. You said nothing about offense. We had an elite offense. We had an elite this. We just didn't have the other thing. You weren't elite top to bottom. You didn't have elite offense that year.
I think that's what you said as well.
They didn't have an elite offense?
No, I think you said that.
No,
when you said it earlier, you said they didn't have an elite offense. They had elite spots where they were really good.
They had elite run prevention.
Yeah. I'm taking the elite whatever because I need guys. I need a guy. Need a couple of them that can get the job done in the manner in which when the moment arises, those guys are going to show up and show out.
Yeah.
Give me a few of those players.
When you use the word balanced, I can't help but think that when you have a balanced roster, while you might not have an elite guy when it comes to the star power and the name associated with said roster in that specific sport, but when you have a balanced roster, it seems like for me, at any given time, one person out of that group can step up and play hero for a night, which ultimately can lead you to have success.
I'll give you a balanced champion. The 2004 Pistons. They were balanced. Now, they do have a couple of Hall of Famers on that roster, but they didn't have anyone that you would say was elite. Ben Wallace was pretty elite.
He's an elite defender.
He's an elite defender. But they were balanced. They won a championship and they beat the Lakers. That's a good team.
I covered that team.
Why does balanced have to automatically be associated with average?
Because they don't have.
It doesn't have to, but
they don't have an elite player.
Right, but what if you have a top 10? What if you're top 10 in offense and defense versus a team that's top 5 in offense and bottom half of the league in defense?
So what I would say to you, Marsh,
pick?
is that you're cheating. You're saying if I could have the Dodgers balance, then I'd rather have that because you're saying top 10 defense and top 10 offense.
That's balanced.
Yeah, but that's balanced. That's elite, balanced elite. What I'm saying is you have
balance is middle.
Yeah, you're like, you know what? You're 12. You got a top 12 offense, and you got a top
17
defense. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I get it, but there is an argument on both sides because if you do have balance, you don't have what? You don't have, to your point, a massive weakness. That's the trade-off, though. You also don't have. You go into a game not really knowing if what you can count on.
Yeah.
If I'm the Bengals, I'm going to hang 40. I just got to make sure they don't hang 41 on me.
You know, make sure I got the ball last.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying.
But one of the things that we've often said about minus Stuart Skinner playing probably his best hockey in his life in the Stanley Cup was that the Oilers are too top heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's the trade-off.
That's the trade-off.
Yes.
They have elite talent. Doesn't mean
They
you're
have
going to win a
elite
championship.
talent.
Doesn't mean you're going to win a championship.
That's fine.
Going into the Oilers.
Do you think Florida is balanced?
Yes.
Yeah, balanced. Yeah, they're balanced.
But they also have an elite player.
Yes. Florida, to me, the Panthers would not be included in this conversation.
Correct. They have a little bit of both. They're
Yeah.
both. They have elite talent and they have a balanced team.
Right.
But that's the
That's
question.
a champion. But no, you don't get the elite player. You don't get the elite player. You have to take those guys off of the roster. And now you're completely balanced.
Yeah.
And then Florida loses that series without Matthew Tkachuk.
Who was the elite player, when you think of elite, who was elite on the Blues 2019 Cup run?
That team is your argument.
That's it.
No pushback.
Great.
Yeah.
Should have led with it.
Yeah.
That is your argument. It's
That's
the
it.
2019 Blues.
Yeah.
They're not elite in any category. They're just really good
Find
in
another
everything.
one.
So, yeah, I would want that type of team.
Okay. They also had to make a dramatic run, though, in the second half to even make the playoffs.
You want that team that you don't think is good. Like halfway through, you're like, all right, season's over. Start planning for the offseason.
Yeah,
And then
because they got their you-know-what together and started playing like the way they could.
That's not sustainable.
It was sustainable the following season until COVID hit.
It's not, well, Marsh, I understand.
Marsh is making really good points, and we're ganging up on him.
You're right.
But I do agree. Like I'm with CD in that I want to know that going into a game, we have elite run prevention.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to have to step up and run into one, Cody Ross, but we have an elite pitching staff.
Good luck.
Elite defense.
Good luck. Because when that other thing ultimately is your Achilles heel,
We got to overcome it.
yeah, some people don't.
Man, the
Some
Bengals
teams
don't.
don't.
They couldn't stop it.
But hey, you know what? Have fun. Have fun watching your guys run down the field and score touchdowns and have the other team hang 40 to 50 on you.
We'll have fun getting bounced in the first round. Okay.
Well, Anthony, I've been used to it. So
I did not intend for that to go that route, but honestly, it was fun. Nice job, Marsh. Nice job.
Should have led with the damn.
You really should have. Yeah. We would CD and I would have had to.
You got a point.
You got a point.
I tried to help you with the Pistons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That is a good example.
They were good.
Did they have elite defense? I feel like they had elite
really
defense.
good. That's why I said Ben Wallace was like defensive player of the year.
He absolutely.
He was outstanding.
That guy was a monster.
Like just really, really good.
He may have been bigger in person than what he even looked like on TV, and he was a monster on TV.
So we have people texting in saying, Petro and Benner were elite, Pietrangelo elite. The defense, you can make the argument that defense at the time was elite. The way that I'm looking at it,
they were elite in the postseason, but I don't think they were.
Leading up, they were pretty good. Like they found their game. To me, they were a balanced roster with goal scoring, with physicality, great defense, great goaltending. But like from a national perspective, none of those players are like superstars.
Yeah.
When I think of elite something, I think immediately of you have to have a superstar, which the Bengals have two superstars on their offense.
That's what makes them elite.
Like I think the Commanders have an elite offense, or at least had an elite offense this past year.
Jaden Daniels.
They had Jaden Daniels, who's a superstar, or is emerging.
And their
superstar.
defense was suspect.
Suckdola.
And they got exposed late in the season.
Well, that happens.
Same with the Lions. Like the Lions, that really good offense.
Right.
Defense banged up. Not elite defense. They got exposed.
If they'd had an
the
elite
Chiefs,
quarterback, they'd have won.
your favorite team.
In January
In the
and
Super Bowl.
February.
They weren't elite, though.
They weren't. No.
They were not elite.
They're not elite.
Not
They're
offensively.
their defense
They were
is
more
better than their.
balanced.
But like, here's the thing, though. Their offense was exposed at the end of the season. Like you get exposed when you aren't. To me, when you aren't balanced.
I told Anthony what would happen, and he didn't believe me.
I didn't. I should have.
Yeah.
I totally should have. Yeah. I never got over week 2.
Yeah.
I never got over week 2, okay?
Kept telling you, I
I'm
was
just
gonna
going
be
to
right
admit it
eventually.
now.
I was gonna be
when
right at
I
one
saw
point.
Kirky Cousins beat the Eagles in Philly, I thought, this team sucks. And I was wrong. Because if you can't beat the Falcons at home on a Monday night, who are you going to beat? Apparently everybody. Literally everybody else. I didn't know, Carey. I should have listened.
Yeah.
Anyways, good stuff, boys. Good stuff. Bet the Board is next on 101 ESPN. The Love It First Drive sales event going on right now at Otis Stearns Nissan Herculaneum. We're talking about new Nissans discounted up to $10K off. Sales prices starting under $23K off, $23K, on select models. Heavily discounted prices on every vehicle in stock, and they have over 700 new and used vehicles all in one location with zero down and no payments for 3 months on select used vehicles or no payments for 6 months on select new Nissans right now, all at Otis Stearns Nissan Herculaneum. Great low financing rates with terms of up to 84 months, and the 2025 Nissan models also come in with a free lifetime warranty and 3 free oil changes. Plus, get that peace of mind with the 30-day return promise from Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum. If you've got credit issues or if you're stuck in a current loan, there's going to be other dealerships that you go to that are going to overpromise and underdeliver, but they're confident at Auto Centers Nissan Herculaneum that anyone that walks through the door can receive a brand new Nissan and have that vehicle financed again from Auto Centers Nissan. Check them out online at autocentersnissan.com. When you head to Herculaneum, tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Centers Nissan.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. Blues take on the Washington Capitals tonight. Right after the show, we'll have pregame for you. It starts at 5. Puck drop is at 6. We're going to bet the board next. Jamie's still in the lead. Can Carey catch him? Will Anthony use his parlay? We'll find out next right here in the Fast Lane. Bet the board next. I'm Andrew Marsh. The Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Time to bet the board here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We're going to be real quick with this. Jamie, did he send in a pick?
Nope.
All right, well, he can go last then.
Give him
What do you
Magic plus 4.5.
Magic plus 4.5 for Jamie.
He
Done.
loves it.
Done.
I'm next. Give me the Warriors minus 4.5.
I didn't see that coming. I did not see that coming. All right, I made the mistake the other night about when it comes to not going with it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to lay the 10. I'm playing Rutgers.
Rutgers has 2 first-round draft picks on their team.
Who are out tonight.
Are they?
I
Both of them?
I have no idea.
You just made that up?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
I staltered it big time. Michigan minus 10 over Rutgers. They'll probably win by 9.
They probably will.
Or
lose by 2.
Yeah, well, hell, if you're going to lose, lose. You know what I mean? Yeah. Michigan's 2-8 against the spread in the last 10. They're due. They're so due.
Hate to do this. I got to go with an Alex Ovechkin anytime goal.
Oh, Marshy.
What the fast lane is wrong with you?
Well, Anthony, I've been terrible this month, so maybe it won't happen.
Okay. You used your, you used it in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Did I use my parlay yet?
Yeah, you did. Yes, sir.
Jamie did too, right?
No, he has not.
Hope he didn't write it down.
He might forget.
Oh, that's true.
He might forget about it, and he might not have to use it because he's in the lead.
Yeah, he's up big. So
he's up by 7. 6.
I almost hope he uses
7.
A huge.
He's up by 2 on me or 3.
He is up by 4 on
He won last night? Damn it. I missed my last 2, man.
Pardon me, Anthony, you have 7 points. Did I say that?
No.
You have 7 points.
And he has what?
13.
Ouch.
So your parlay tomorrow will have to be hefty.
Well,
I'll hit most of it.
You'll be 1 closer than you were today.
Yes, I will, thanks to
welcome.
It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine. We'll
Never
wrap
liked
up.
that song.
No, we know.
Yeah.
That's why he didn't show up.
No question.
We'll wrap up the show next on 101 ESPN. Underdog Fantasy is available in Missouri. That means that you can play your favorite NHL players or NBA players or college basketball players or MMA fighters, and you can make all your picks and do it all right there at Underdog Fantasy. So if you've ever had a hunch that a certain player, maybe like, I don't know, Alex Ovechkin's going to score a goal or record a certain amount of points. Well, choose higher on Ovi's stats for tonight's game against the Blues. Maybe you actually like some of the Blues players too. Maybe you like Colton Parayko to score a goal like I do tonight against the Washington Capitals. You don't have to just do NHL. You don't have to just do one game. In fact, you can mix and match your picks at Underdog Fantasy. You can play as low as $1 and get everything right. You get up to 1,000 times your money. So turn $1 into 1,000. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using my promo code Anthony. It's my first name. That's it, Anthony. And you can unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. So again, download the Underdog Fantasy app. Use my promo code Anthony. Play Underdog like I do. Claim your special offer today to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon your first deposit to Underdog Fantasy. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or the 101 Dobbs Tire and Auto Center's mobile app. All the podcasts brought to you by Schaefer Door Company. All right, boys. What did we learn today?
I learned that I don't know anything that goes on around here.
Oh, yeah, good call.
I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't pay attention.
You're talking about in our Hubbard station.
I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. They tend to schedule a lot of things during our show, and I've always wondered if it's to send a message.
To us?
Yeah. Yes.
You don't like it play better?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess.
I do notice that
we don't like you.
Most of the things
like
are from like 2 to 6.
Right.
Ish.
Holiday party. Let's do 2 to 6.
3 to 5.
We're gonna have Big get together. The whole cluster of stations.
Except for...
Why don't we go 2 to 6?
Except for those 4 guys that work from 2 to 6.
And if you're in music, you just...
Yeah, they don't care about us, Anthony.
Turn the music on.
Yeah, just you can, syndicate the show. Or not syndicate. What do they call that? Voice track. You voice track the show. Not us, though.
We'll be there.
No,
we won't.
No. That's a good what you learned. Marsh, what'd you learn?
I learned that anytime I try and bring something up that I think I know, I actually don't.
What? Like what?
Like the cat from Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
That's okay.
I was very certain about, that cat's name. I was very certain about Slope the other day, too. Apparently that was wrong as well.
That's okay.
I think there's some things that I remember from my past, and now I'm starting to realize that none of it's right.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey, that's part of growing up, kid.
I guess.
It's part of growing up.
Yeah.
The thing that I learned today is that, and actually, I don't think it's necessarily what I learned, but was confirmed that Carey and I think exactly the same. Yeah. We get upset about the same things. We get ticked off about the same things. We get angry about the same things.
Marcia was kind of looking at us like, what's wrong with these guys?
What is wrong with these guys? Why are they so upset about this?
Fast lane it.
Yeah.
Fast lane that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love it, though.
Yeah.
Carey and I, basically the same dude.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You actually were happy that I got upset like
I was very happy, yeah. I was.
Yeah. You were upset before me, and then when I got the news, it's like, the fast lane is going on here.
Yeah.
Huh? The fast lane is happening here.
I was fired up that you were stick. Now, we can't bring what we're talking about to the airwaves, and I do apologize about that. But, again, I learned that Carey and I, we think the same. Go ahead, Marsh.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our 3rd star of the day, not a part of this show, but got to give a big shout out and 3rd star to Jackson Burkett. It was a big day for him. So,
What happened?
Well, he got to celebrate his Mizzou team, Team A. Oh. Talked with the head coach, Jackson. Apparently got a scholarship offered to him. Play basketball. Wow. I don't know if he'll actually be able to play, but...
Good job, Jackson.
Good job for him.
Jackson.
He set some screens.
Yeah, he can.
Pick and roll.
2nd star of the day goes out to being elite in random trivia. Not just well-balanced, but elite in random trivia.
Yeah.
1st star of the day goes out to robots.
Nice job, robot. Wait, no.
1st star goes out to robots.
To hell with those robots. For Andrew Marsh, for Jamie Rivers, for Carey Davis, I'm Anthony Stalter. Blues pregame now. See ya.